Bonjour à tous et bienvenue. Au nom des Alouettes de Montréal, je vous remercie d'être présents pour cette annonce des plus importantes. Je tiens également à saluer les personnes qui suivent cette conférence de presse à la télévision ou via le montrealalouette.com. Présent sur la scène, vous remarquerez la présence du vice-président, directeur général et directeur des opérations et du personnel de joueurs, M. Jim Popp, le président du conseil d'administration, M. Paul Harris, le propriétaire, M. Bob Wettenhall, Anthony Calvillo, et finalement, le président et chef de la direction, M. Mark Waitman. Le déroulement de la conférence de ce matin sera fort simple. Après une série de vidéos et d'interventions, une période de questions concernant l'annonce d'aujourd'hui suivra. Following a combination of speeches and short videos, we will open the floor to questions. Sans plus tarder, j'aimerais céder la parole à M. Bob Wettenhall.
Mesdames et Messieurs, bonjour. Merci d'être présent à cette annonce de Anthony Calvillo et les Alouettes de Montréal. Today is Anthony's day. He has done so much for everyone with a standard of excellence. He's walked among us with an air of humility, and he's had this wonderful journey up to this stage of his life. Now we're going to have some video presentations.
Alors, on vous demande de tourner votre attention vers les écrans.
Anthony Calvillo.
We're the best team. And today, I'm tired of saying we are the beast of the East. Today, we are the beast of the CFL.
Mr. Whittenall.
The year before last, the 100th Grey Cup was played. TSN produced an absolutely magnificent series of videos called Engraved on a Nation. And the half-hour video about Anthony's life, called The Kid from La Puente, chronicled his journey from Southern California through the U.S., into Canada, and finally to Montreal, where he is engraved on all of us. His humility and his decency. Arguably one of the great players in the history of professional football. This good and decent man should be judged, as all men should be judged, on, is the world a better place because they're going through it? And in Anthony's case, it certainly is. I give you Anthony Calvillo.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. First, I just want to start off by just giving praise and glory to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me this opportunity. Man, I was so nervous today. I've never been so nervous in my life. And I thought this was going to be much easier, but here we go. Today, I would like to announce my retirement. I did not want this to happen. From this great game of football. It has been an amazing journey of 20 years, starting in Las Vegas, to my humbling times in Hamilton, to the past 16 years here in Montreal. When I first got here, the most important thing I needed to do was gain the trust of the locker room. And I was able to learn that from a great quarterback in Tracy Hand. Tracy, amazing. Truly, truly amazing. And I want to thank him for teaching me how to become a quarterback. After I gained the trust of the locker room, I finally gained the trust of the organization. Of course, Tracy retired, and I was able to take over the team in 2000. And, I still wanted to be a consistent and, of course, a championship quarterback. And all that changed in 2002 when Don Matthews got here. And Don Matthews was an amazing coach. And I remember sitting down with him, and for the first meeting, I was nervous. I didn't know what he was going to do with me. But he says, you know what, we're going to sit down, and we're going to change the offense, and we're going to build it around you. So to have that kind of confidence from a coach, and with the guidance of our offensive coordinator, Jim Barker, we were to go out there and win our first championship. And I'm always going to be grateful to Don Matthews for changing the path of my career. And of course, I wish I could mention all the coaches that I've dealt with in the past, but unfortunately I don't have the time. But I want to thank all of them as well, and especially Coach Mark Trestman. Mark brought another dimension to not only my game, but I think the entire organization. Just doing special things I've never seen a coach do before, and we all bought in. And of course, with the guidance of the offensive coordinator, Scott Milanovic, we were able to go out there and win a couple more championships, and I'm always going to be grateful for that. I am very proud that we had an opportunity and earned the right to go play for 8 Grey Cup championships. And I will walk away from this game with my head high, knowing that I won 3 Grey Cup championships. And that's something I'm always going to remember. I've never been a big stat person at all. Stats was not important to me. And I remember Scott Milanovic asking me a year prior to breaking the all-time leading passing record if that was going to be important to me. And I said, no, it's not. And he was like, are you crazy? You know how much that's going to mean? At that time, I didn't. Now I do. But I never, ever played this game thinking about yards or my legacy. All I try to do is go out there and play the best I can to help our football team win. And to me, that was important to me. This last season was quite different. You know, being on the sidelines gave me a different opportunity to see what was going on. And what I saw is great teammates and great new quarterbacks who I feel are going to have the ability to take this team over and lead them into the next generation. You know, I also had to deal with this concussion, but I could tell you today that I am fully cleared from any symptoms. I saw Dr. Delaney last December, and he gave me the clean bill of health, and now I am back to my normal self, and it's time to move forward. So for my future, I really want to spend some time with my family. I want to enjoy a summer off. I do want to get into coaching, but that's going to be down the road. But I will be involved, of course, with the Alouettes as an ambassador, working within the community, and of course with youth football. I will continue to do my keynote speaking at corporate events that I've been doing for the last couple of years. And I've also returned to school. I'm 15 credits away from graduating from university with a general studies bachelor's degree. So right now I'm in the process of finishing those courses. So I'm doing courses online, as well as I'm going to be doing an internship with the Alouettes that I will get school credit for, learning more about the scouting department and the general manager duties. And I really feel that this is going to be an exciting time for me. And like I said, coaching, stop laughing, you guys over there. Coaching for me is something I want to do, and I want to do it here in this city. And I just don't want to do it in my first year. I would like to conclude with thanking a few people, and of course the fans. The fans here in Montreal have been fantastic. As we were looking at the video, people always tell me that they've always had a lot of great memories with the Alouettes. And I just want to say, well, I have had great memories with you as well. And I'm never going to forget our first parade. The first parade that we had here in Montreal was something I'm always going to remember. And I'm getting the chills thinking about it right now because it was spectacular. And of course, I just want to say a few things in French. I think it's important. J'aimerais remercier tous les fans qui m'ont encouragé durant toutes ces années passées ici à Montréal. Je serai toujours reconnaissant pour les souvenirs que nous avons partagés. Merci and thank you for the great memories. I also want to thank Tom Paul, Lorenzo de la Foresta for their spiritual guidance through my time here in Montreal, Dr. Lacroix and Dr. Delaney and the staff for allowing me to be on the field week in and week out. And of course, good old Ronnie James for taking care of us there in the locker room. Rodney Sassy, Brian Robinson, who helped train me on the high trainer. And of course, my good friend, the late Mike Dawson. This man was a friend that I met my first year, and he passed away this past December, and I'm going to miss him. To my good friend Scott Suter, you've been what I always refer to as my career extender. You have been the reason why I've been able to play for so many years, and I want to thank you and your wife Allison for giving him the time to spend with me, especially when I had to take him out to Grey Cup. So thank you. To my teammates, thank you. Current, past, the memories that we shared, the bus rides that we took, the conversations that we had that I can repeat and I cannot repeat, the things I'm always going to remember. And I just want to thank you for those memories. To the good friends and family that I've happened to meet over my time here in Montreal, Baron and Jen Miles and their families, Scott and I'm going to speak right now. Scott and Tasha, Lori, thank you for what you have done. Luke and Aaron Fritz, for your friendship over the years. Friends back home, Donald Lyons and his family, Richard Parham and his family. And I just want to thank all the fans across the CFL as well. You guys have been, you've been a part of this league for so many years, and I just want to thank you for the support that you gave us when my wife was going through her cancer battle, and I just want to thank you for that. And I think one thing that gets left out is the owners around this league, current owners and past owners. You guys have allowed so many people to live a dream, and I personally want to thank you just for allowing me to have that dream as well. To Jim Pop and his staff, Jim Pop, you are the reason why we've had so much success here. Your guidance, your dedication, your ability to find talent year in and year out has allowed us to flourish. And to you, I say thank you. And I also want to say thank you for giving a kid a chance when not too many people believed in me back in 1997. To our owner, Mr. Wettenhall, who I call Bob now, and my kids call Bob, we have built a relationship here that has grown over the years. And I am excited to continue to call you not only my boss, but a good friend. So I just want to thank you again for giving me an opportunity to live my dream here in Montreal. To my mom, my brother David, Mario, and Nadine back home, I love you guys. We've been through a lot, and here comes the conclusion of football, but of course, we still have a lot more life to live, and I just want to thank you for your support. To my in-laws here, Peter and Sonia, thanks you for helping us and doing so much. And of course, to my wife, Olivia, and Athena. I know I've been driving you guys crazy since I've been home. You guys want me out of the house. But this is how it's going to be for a little while. And I love you guys. I'm sorry if I left some people out, but I literally put all this together last night. I usually don't have notes on me at all. I always kind of just put everything in my head. But I couldn't do it this time. So I'm sorry if I left people out, but just know that the people who have crossed my path, I just want to thank all of them because you guys have made a difference in my life. And I've just had a tremendous opportunity to play in this city, and I look forward to spending the rest of my life here in this city. Thank you very much.
J'aimerais maintenant donner la parole au président et chef de la direction, M. Mark Waitman.
Aujourd'hui, c'est une journée qu'on espérait n'arriverait jamais. C'est la fin d'une époque. Une page d'histoire de notre équipe ainsi que de la Ligue canadienne de football se tourne aujourd'hui. Au Québec, si on demande à quelqu'un de nommer les grands noms du hockey, de l'histoire du hockey, on entendrait les noms de Richard, Béliveau, Lafleur, Savard, Roy. Si on mentionne les expos, les noms de Staub, Carter, Dawson, Guerrero seraient probablement les noms retenus. Quand on pense à la course automobile, le nom de Villeneuve est synonyme avec le sport. Des grands noms ont fait partie des Alouettes au fil des années. Mais le premier nom qui vient à l'esprit des gens au Québec, quand on leur parle des Alouettes, c'est Anthony Calvillo. Anthony a changé la façon de percevoir notre sport, ainsi que notre club. Oui, il a fracassé presque tous les records possibles, mais ce qu'il a fait pour mériter cette notoriété va beaucoup plus loin de ce qu'il a fait sur un terrain de football. J'aimerais prendre quelques minutes pour parler de Anthony, l'homme, et non pas le joueur. Anthony a toujours voulu qu'on louange ses coéquipiers au lieu de lui. Il a toujours dégagé une image positive, comme joueur et comme personne. Il a toujours été un bon modèle à suivre, une inspiration, une référence pour les jeunes ainsi que pour ses coéquipiers. Un homme honnête, un homme généreux, respectueux et intègre. Bref, un bel ambassadeur pour notre organisation et pour notre sport. J'aimerais vous raconter une petite histoire que je pense en dit très long sur Anthony Calvillo, l'homme. V'là 4-5 ans, on voulait offrir un chandail numéro 13, autographié par Anthony, à un jeune garçon qui était gravement malade. Il était à un des hôpitaux pour enfants à Montréal, je ne me souviens plus lequel. C'était un grand fan d'Anthony. Donc, Anthony est en congé, je pense que c'était le bye week. Alors, un de nos employés l'a appelé pour lui demander si on pouvait aller chez eux avec un chandail pour le faire signer pour ce jeune garçon. Et Anthony, fidèle à lui-même, a accepté, bien sûr. Mais quand l'employé s'est pointé chez lui, Anthony a voulu s'informer sur l'état du jeune garçon. Et au lieu de signer et retourner le chandail, il a demandé pour le numéro de chambre à l'hôpital du garçon. Il a pris le chandail, puis il a dit « Je m'en occupe ». Non seulement il est allé porter le chandail à ce jeune garçon lui-même, mais il a passé près d'1 heure avec lui et sa famille, à parler avec, à l'encourager, à essayer de lui remonter le moral un peu. Ça, c'est du grand Anthony Calvillo. C'était pas un match à 400 verges avec 4 touchés, mais c'est un excellent exemple de pourquoi Anthony a l'admiration et le respect de tous ceux qui le connaissent. Et voilà aussi un excellent exemple pourquoi nous sommes très fiers d'annoncer aujourd'hui que dorénavant, Anthony aura un rôle au sein de notre organisation. Il sera impliqué dans nos efforts communautaires et aussi impliqué dans nos programmes de développement de football amateur au Québec. Aujourd'hui marque donc la fin d'une grande carrière pour le joueur, mais c'est aussi le début d'une après-carrière très prometteuse. Pour les Alouettes, c'est une fierté que tu demeures avec l'organisation, et ce, à long terme. Anthony, I couldn't possibly imagine a better role model for our young fans. I feel privileged to have been part of the same organization for all these years. You have my utmost admiration, and I know I'm not alone. Thank you for being an Alouette.
Merci, M. Whiteman. Et maintenant, mesdames, messieurs, veuillez diriger votre attention à nouveau vers les écrans.
Anthony, what an honor and privilege it is to be part of your retirement festivities. How very fortunate I am to have crossed paths with you almost 7 years ago. When I arrived in Montreal, all I knew about you was your completion percentage the previous year. And 7 years later, we're now family. Only the game of football can do this, which is a part of why we love the game. As I said last year when I took this job with the Bears, without you, I would have never had this opportunity. Unfortunately, the success of a coach is all based on his one-loss record. There has never been a successful head football coach who wasn't represented by a quarterback who played at a highly efficient level. Something you've always done, and I most certainly am grateful to have been a part of it. But what is the most important here has nothing to do with football, yet it has everything to do with football. Because over the 5 years we were together, you represented and carried yourself in a fashion that taught your teammates and coaches how to live and how to lead. Your statistics as a player will always be there, and eventually, sometime, somewhere, they'll be broken, but what you gave those who stood by you in the locker room and on the field will be forever. You taught us about accountability, hard work, consistency of demeanor, and loyalty. You taught us grace in victory and defeat and about transcending the locker room. You showed us how to be mentally and physically tough, as well as the true meaning of competitive greatness, that of being at your best when your best was needed. You honored the game, AC, daily because you understood that the game never cared about what you did last year or last week, that what mattered most was your effort to be at your best daily and win the day. What is so amazing is this is just the beginning of your new life with Alexia and your beautiful daughters. As you move forward, I know you will have a vision of where you are going and a plan in place that will execute daily with discipline and selflessness. We always said, AC, the most important gift of winning was not the rings or the trophy, it was the story about the journey, the work, the effort, the unselfishness, brotherly love and compassion in the locker room that we could share and teach others. That's our job. No one will have a bigger platform than you. You are a true champion in every sense of the word. I love you, AC, and congratulations.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Anthony, I'm going to take this moment to revisit back in some time from the beginning of your career. The first time I saw Anthony was 22 years old, August 6, 1994. And the Baltimore Stallions were visiting Las Vegas to play the Posse in about 130-degree weather on that field. It was an unbelievable game. There was only about 10,000 people at the game. And here's Tracy Ham and Anthony Calvillo going at it. And it's remarkable because in that season, and you look at where we are today, I mean, these two men were together. Anthony took us to even higher levels. And but that was the beginning of somebody that I kept an eye on that I thought one day will be a remarkable player. And that year he was 44% completion rate, 13 TDs, and 2,582 yards. And look where we are today, 62% completion rate, 455 touchdowns, and 79,816 yards. We moved from the Las Vegas to the Hamilton, and he had, not only in Vegas but in Hamilton, some of his, in my opinion, some of his career games against the Alouettes. And I'm watching the highlight reel when we started, and memories are just coming back because I would shake my head, him winging that ball downfield. And I just looked at him, and he was kind of to be pegged the savior of the Hamilton franchise. They weren't playing at a high level at that time. He wasn't protected very well, and I just marveled at how great a player you were. And I just thought if he ever could be with a team of the level that I felt we were, that he could just go to some other level, and hope that. I didn't know that. I hoped that. Then it came down to the trade, trying to get him, which never materialized from Hamilton. And this is what I learned about Anthony Calvillo at that time. I talked to him, I talked to his agent. He had a big bonus that was due to him, I believe, on March 1st. Nobody wanted to pay it. Hamilton didn't want to pay it. He didn't want to pay it. We didn't want to pay it. And it got to that point where the 11th hour struck, and there was no trade. I had 3 players sitting on the table, but we had verbally agreed on a deal. And Toronto and Saskatchewan jumped in, trying to convince him to come. And his exact words is, "I gave my word. I'm coming there." And he followed through. He didn't have to. He did. And this, my friends, is what Anthony's all about. The true gentleman and man that transcends our locker room, and everybody understands and believes, and friends, family, and anybody he touches understands that. For the next 16 years, we watched him accumulate these 80,000 yards, but the challenges that were along the way, he played under 9 head coaches, 13 offensive coordinators if we count himself, because he called his own plays at 2 different times in his career. And he had over 2,000 teammates that he's gone to training camp with. 2,000. And as I said, he called his plays one year, and then he didn't call his plays. Then he called his plays, and he didn't call his plays. But he took it over in 2000 on his own. And as we all know, 8 Grey Cups, 3 championships, as he said. Took everything in stride, never wanted praise, and always accepted, people that didn't want to praise him. He took the blame, whether it was his fault or not. And this is what a leader does. This is a true leader. I sat down last night, early this morning, and I said, there's words to describe Anthony. I sat down and went through the alphabet. And I come up with alert, ambitions, brave, bright, calm, courageous, credible, detailed, determined, diligent, efficient, entertaining, excellent, faithful, friendly, good, happy, honorable, intangibles, kind, likable, longevity, pleasant, productive, receptive, righteous, sincere, successful, trustworthy, versatile, warm, wise, and wonderful. Now, anybody that knows Anthony, there's probably other words, but I bet I've touched every one of you to say he's all of that. And that's what he is. Most of you picture Anthony in his number 13 red, white, and blue uniform. My picture of him is in his tropical blue and teal number 13 practice jersey that he's always joking with his teammates. You know, you never got credit for being such a great athlete. And he really was. He is. Basketball, golf, quick feet, outruns everybody at practice every day, at least once at practice. That's why he has 3,688 yards and 34 touchdowns rushing, if you haven't paid attention to that stat. He never got credit for escaping the pocket, and he was a real magician at doing it, and it was remarkable. And finally, you got credit for winning big games. When he won so many big games for this organization and carried us all. I'll leave you on this note, and I just want you to listen to these names. Allen, Flutie, Moon, Parker, Echeverry. Lancaster, Jackson, Dunnigan, Brock, Ham, McManus, Austin, Clemens, Filoni, Cap, Holloway, Wilkinson, Montana, Brady, Breeze, Marino, Starr, Favre, Greasy, Elway, Unitas, Manning, Staubach, Young, Namath, Tarkenton, Kelly, Bradshaw, and today everybody deems Rogers. There's only one Anthony Calvillo. You're the all-time great, and I love you. But
Merci, M. Pomp. Avant de débuter la période de questions, nous avons quelques individus qui n'ont pu être parmi nous aujourd'hui, qui tenaient aussi à féliciter Anthony. Je vous invite donc pour une dernière fois à diriger votre attention vers les écrans.
Well, I've been given the pleasure of saying a few words about Anthony Calvillo, and it's a true honor to do that. He had such a remarkable career in the CFL, and I'm proud to say that I was present when I think Anthony Calvillo turned into the living legend as a quarterback that we've all known him to be. When he came to Montreal, I watched how he was able to transform an entire offense, and he did it by doing what he went on to do for many, many years after, which was to make those around him better. And that's what was so impressive about Anthony Calvillo. Yes, he was a fantastic quarterback, but he came into the locker room as Tracy Ham's backup and managed to make Tracy Ham improve his professionalism, the way he studied the game, the way he played the game. He actually fed off of Anthony Calvillo. And then, of course, Anthony Calvillo took the reins over from Tracy Ham and just got better and better to the point where he became, in my opinion, the second greatest quarterback to play the game in the CFL, just behind Doug Flutie. And the reason why I compare him to Doug Flutie is that both of them had that innate ability to actually make it look unfair when they took the field, because they were so much further ahead in terms of their understanding of the game of football that defenses often didn't have a chance. You put the right pieces around Anthony Calvillo, he was going to be successful. Had a brilliant career. Anthony, congratulations, and I'm wishing you a wonderful retirement.
Hey guys, way to keep a secret. Nice job. Anthony, congratulations on a fantastic career. So grateful to have been able to play with you for so many years and to call you a friend. As I've thought about some of the things that made you great, I realized that you accomplished everything you did on the football field with something like 9 different head coaches and several different offensive coordinators and offensive systems, and it's truly amazing. But what you did in your short 19-year career is so much larger than just football. So how'd you do it? What made you great? These are some of the things that I thought about. You did it by how you came to work each day, how you led by example, how you led with your actions without bringing attention to yourself, without chest thumping or striking a pose. You did it by how you worked and studied and prepared when you came to work and when you left, how you respected your organization and your teammates at all times and respected the game of football. But most importantly maybe is how you put your family first, time and time again. You showed your team and the league how to be a professional, and in the process exemplified to the whole country of Canada those principles that it takes to be successful and to get to the top. But maybe the most inspiring thing to me is how you picked yourself up and responded when heartache and difficulties came. If that is the true mark of a champion, surely you are that. Alright guys, cue the Tina Turner music.
I'm Chris Berman of ESPN. Je m'appelle Chris Berman de ESPN. I would like to give my heartfelt congratulations to Anthony Calvillo for a wonderful career on the field and an even better one off of it. We know the numbers, more yards passing than anybody else in the history of professional football. We know about the Grey Cup championships. But the people of Montreal, the province of Quebec, all of Canada, and yes, many of us here in the good old United States know about the way that you've carried yourself in triumph and in defeat. Nobody wants to finish their careers injured, as you did, not having that last opportunity to do it all one more time. But it's okay. The memories that you have and the ones that you provided for everybody else are going to last forever. Way to go. Félicitations, mon ami, et merci.
Nous allons maintenant ouvrir la période de questions aux médias concernant l'annonce d'aujourd'hui. Nous vous demandons d'utiliser le microphone qu'un de mes collègues vous apportera afin que ceux qui suivent la conférence de presse en direct sur le web ou à la télé puissent bien entendre votre question. Veuillez, s'il vous plaît, vous identifier ainsi que le média que vous représentez. We will now take questions regarding today's announcement from the media. We ask you to please use the microphone in order to help those who are following this press conference via the web or on TV hear your question. Please identify yourself and the media you will represent.
Miguel Bugeaud, La Presse. Anthony, this isn't a question I think I've asked you enough during your career. I want to thank you, and I want to thank you in the name of the media for always being a stand-up guy, always being good with your time with us. You've always been a gentleman, and thank you very much on a great career.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Didier Ormejus, RDS. Anthony, congratulations for a great career. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing you anyway. So, but what I would like to know, if you didn't suffer the concussion last August, do you think that you'd be retiring today?
That's a great question. I always ask myself, a few questions at the end of every season. One, am I still enjoying the game? Two, am I physically able to play the game? And three, am I still playing at the level that I've established for myself? And to answer those three questions, it was no on did I enjoy the game. I didn't last year. It was tough. And, of course, I missed half of the season. And then I didn't play up to my level that I've established for myself. So there was probably a good chance that I would have retired anyways, because I didn't like the way I performed last year, and it wasn't that fun at all.
Anthony, Jeremy Filosa, 98.5. I just want to second what Miguel said. I don't remember a single time where we came up with you with questions and you didn't want to answer, or even when you were in a bad mood, you always did it, so thank you very much. You've been the face of this team, and you've been the face of this league, basically, till now. I want to know, over these 20 years, how you've remained so humble. Did you make us feel like you were on top of anybody else, that you were better than anybody else, yet you were the best? How did you remain so humble?
Well, I think really growing up taught me a lot about being humble, not having a whole lot. And then when I did achieve certain things, yeah, it was great. But at the same time, I still felt that it wasn't the most important thing in the world. And I think that's what it came down to. I kind of balanced things throughout my entire life. Playing with my teammates, being successful. I didn't want that to be who I was all about. And for me, once I got home, I had to throw out the garbage. I had to change poopy diapers. I had to do all that stuff that you just do. But for me, it was just a normal thing. And I wanted to make sure that I just kept things in balance. And to me, that was important. It's just to, yeah, it was great winning championship. Yeah, it was great doing special things. But at the end of the day, I'm just another human being. I'm just trying to go out there and just try to set the example for my family.
Anthony, Jean Saint-Onge, Radio-Canada. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you had to pick one moment on the football field in that career, which one would it be?
Wow, that's there's been so many, yes, I know, but I think I'm always going to refer back to the championship games and the games that we won. I remember they showed part of that clip where it was the second time we're playing Saskatchewan. It was 3rd and 1, and Adrian McPherson came on the field, and I remember yelling at the offensive lineman, like, man, you guys better get this. And they're kind of looking at me like, man, it's like 2 inches. We're going to get it. But in my mind, we needed that to secure a back-to-back championship. And once Adrian got it, I knew that we did something very rare, and that was win back-to-back championships. So that's something that really stands out in my mind.
Anthony, here. Pierre Durocher, Journal de Montréal. Like Miguel said earlier, thanks very much for your help. We appreciate what you did for us. You were always there in the locker room after a tough loss. We could always count on you to get a few comments. So thanks. You. And I would like to know, among all the things you're going to miss from playing football, when you spend so many years playing football, what is the thing that you're going to miss the most?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's the routine of preparing every year. Once the season's over, I take a couple weeks off, and then I start preparing for the next season, working out, getting the plan set, for camp, going through the season of being prepared. Where now I'm trying to, regroup and remember how to study. I got tests and quizzes I'm doing now and reading, and I'm driving my family nuts because I'm home all the time, and that's what I'm trying to adjust to right now. But I think I'm really just going to miss the routine of getting ready for another season, and that's what kind of stands out in my mind right now.
Hey, Anthony, it's Herb.
What's up, Herb?
It's been a privilege, honestly, it's been a privilege to watch your career. I'm not sure June 5th, June 6th, when training camp will open. I know it's probably an unfair question because we're only in January, but I've already thought about what that first day is going to be like without Anthony Calvillo on the field. What do you think you're going to do that day?
I'll probably be golfing somewhere, doing something. But yeah, I think the whole process is going to be different. I mean, in my mind, my mind was pretty much made up at the end of the season that I wanted to retire. I wanted the holidays to think about it a bit more to make sure that I was 100%, but I was pretty much 99% sure that I was going to retire. And when I returned, informed the team, like, yes, this is what I want to do. But deep down, I knew that that was going to be the final decision. And really, in my mind, I've moved on. And I think the process of me being hurt, being around the team still, helped me go through this transition. So, that's something that I'm beyond that now. My mind is moved on in terms of football. So when June comes around, I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm in the process of finishing my school at the end of April. My plan is to go back and graduate on stage, bring my family out there so they can see that, and then enjoy the summer with my family. And so, I'm always going to be thinking about football. I mean, I still got so many relationships with the entire organization, so I'm definitely going to be thinking about them. But for me, it's I want to enjoy some time during the summertime.
Anthony, Claude Mayotte, RDS. It's a tough act to follow after Herb, but can I suggest one thing? In June, since you're still part of the team, that you could be, at least for the training camp, a quarterback coach. Then after that, you could play golf all summer long. But I think during training camp, we would need you as a quarterback coach.
You know what? This organization has always put the right people in place, and that's from coaching staff and to players. And I don't see that changing. And I feel very confident because I was with these guys. I was with Troy Smith, Tanner Marsh, Josh Neiswander. These guys, I see them prepared. I see them go out there and perform. And this year, they got a chance to play a lot. And to see what Troy did in a half a season of not knowing anything about this league was very impressive. So I truly do believe that they got the right guys in place to move forward. And I'm looking forward to seeing that progress. But in terms of quarterback coaching, that will happen. It just won't happen this year.
Good morning, Marie-Michelle Sioui from La Presse. My question will be a follow-up question. I was going to ask you, you declined a position as a coach with the Alouettes, so you don't want to coach right now, might be because you want to finish your degree. You might coach the quarterbacks. Is that something you really think you're going to do, coaching in the long run?
One, I've never been offered a job as an offensive coordinator or quarterback coach here with the Montreal Alouettes. Jim and I have discussed my future, and I told him exactly what I told you guys. Over the past 2 years, I've been thinking more about coaching. I want to get back in. I want to get into coaching because it's a passion. I get excited about that, and that's something I want to do in the year 2015. And when Jim and I had the discussion, we were talking about coaching, and he was like, "What do you think you would want to do?" I go, "I have to learn more about coaching. As much as I know about football, there's still the other aspect of the whole coaching atmosphere that I don't know about. Yes, I've called my own plays before, but all that preparation was done by the coaches. So I still feel that I got a lot to learn from. And the only way I'll be able to do that is by starting, in my opinion, at some kind of quarterback position and then grow from there, because I still think there's a lot more to learn. Even though I got a lot of experience, there's still more to coaching that I don't know about. So that will be discussed in the future. But again, I don't want to go anywhere. This is my home. This is where I want to stay. I want to coach in this city, and I want to coach for the Alouettes. And we've discussed this in the past. But, you know, it all comes down to timing and the fact that I want to take a year off and go back to school and enjoy a summer off. We're going to see what happens come the following year.
Anthony Mitch Gallo, TSN 690. Just wondering, 7 years ago when Mark Trestman first got here, if you would have foresaw that you had as much more time that ended up coming to fruition?
You know, every coach has their ability to help a team win. Don Matthews, when he got here, took us to a different level, and I'm grateful for that. And Mark Trestman did the exact same thing. Now, when a new coach gets hired, you don't know what to expect. You're kind of feeling them out, they're feeling you out, and you're trying to absorb the philosophy that they're trying to teach you. But Mark always said that he wanted to protect the quarterback, and if the quarterback was going to be protected, he should be able to finish a throwing motion and complete passes. And we were able to do that. And, you know, over my span, you know, I've talked about there's no way I could have done this by myself. I mean, I look back at the talent that we had here in Montreal. I look back at the talent we had in Hamilton, and realistically, we didn't have a whole lot of talent there, and I wasn't ready to really lead a team like I was able to lead here. But here, we were surrounded by horses. I mean, my main objective was to gain the trust of the locker room, but not screw anything up at the same time. So that's something that's very important to me. But Mark did something special. I think he took our team to another level based on his coaching philosophies, and as a team buying into that. So I'm grateful for the fact that I didn't get hit a whole lot. I'm grateful for the fact that we were able to win a couple of championships, and I was able to play at a high level late in my career.
Douglas Gallivan, CBC News. Anthony, congratulations on your career. I would like to know, who's the best player you played with and why?
I remember when I first got here to Montreal, I was scared of Mike Pringle. I was intimidated by this guy. This guy walked around the locker room and just had this chip on his shoulder, and I mean, I was fearful. And I was just so impressed how he worked during practice. I never seen a running back get a handoff and then run all the way to the end zone and come back. And he just conditioned himself. And then to take the ball and carry it, you know, 25, 35 times a game, week in and week out, that was impressive. And he wasn't hurt that often. And, of course, by the fourth quarter, he would just wear people down. So I'm always going to be in awe of that guy and be impressed of what he was able to accomplish and witness it firsthand.
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions? Alors, merci Anthony pour ces merveilleuses 16 dernières années. Thank you, Anthony, for 16 years of memories.